The 4 workers voluntarily turned over evidence to investigators, and they were cooperating fully with the investigation. And yet you went ahead, and shortly before that election, you brought these indictments. And on page 61 of this book, it is rather clear that that is effectively a no-no. Why did you do that?
Senator, I acted at the direction of the director of the Election Crimes Branch in the Public Integrity section. We asked...
I mean, this is puzzling. Why this volume that you admitted U.S. attorneys must be familiar with states very clearly, thus most, if not all, investigation of an alleged election crime must await the end of the election to which the allegation relates. This involved 4 people who were cooperating with the local district attorney. The matter was being taken care of locally, and yet the U.S. attorney then files the case right before the election. I have a hard time understanding that, if it isn't for political reasons.
Senator, first of all, the cooperation was not by the 4 individuals. The cooperation was by the Acorn organization. I'm not aware of any other books on that issue.
I'm not either, and I've looked carefully, but it says, since the federal prosecutor's function in the area of election crimes is not primarily preventative, any criminal investigation by the department must be conducted in a way that eliminates or at least minimizes the possibility the investigation itself become a factor in the election. Very few exceptions, no overt investigation should occur until after the election. Acorn had been investigated, had self-referred the incidents to the county prosecutor's office, so there's no threat that prosecution was needed. Time he filed the indictments, the people involved had already been terminated. Registration activities for the election had ceased. Is that not true?
Yes, it is true, Senator, that they had ceased.
Well, then, did you go to anybody in the Justice Department to approve what you were doing insofar as it apparently goes against what is in the prosecutor's handbook?
Yes, Senator. At my direction, the prosecutor, the assistant U.S. attorney assigned to this case, who's a 27-year veteran of the department, contacted the head of the Election Crimes Branch, which is a unit within the Public Integrity section.
Who would you contact?
The head of the Election Crimes Branch, Craig Donsanto.
Is he still there?
Yes, he is.
And you contacted him, or the assistant?
My assistant U.S. attorney contacted him.
At your direction?
At my direction,
and
yes.
And what was the response?
The response was, when we explained the nature of the investigation and the indictments, we specifically asked whether we should be able to go forward or he wanted us to delay. And his response was, go ahead, if you've got the investigation ready to go ahead and indict. There's no need to wait until after the election.
Even so, even though the manual says, and they actually underline the manual, thus, most, if not all, investigation of alleged election crime must await the end of the election to which the allegation relates.
His explanation was...
And these people are no longer involved in the election at the time you brought the charge. And it seems so extraordinary and so different than what's normally done. Did they ask you, is there a reason why they shouldn't follow their normal policy?
The director's explanation was is that this case did not implicate any of the DOJ informal policies because, as he...
Watch the news at all?
Occasionally, yes.
Did you ever watch it before an election?
Senator, I mean, I watch the news on occasion.
Have you ever made a remark suggesting to anybody that helping a particular candidate or political party played a role in your decision about filing this lawsuit as interim U.S. attorney?
I can't imagine having made any comments like that.
So your answer is no?
My answer is no.
If anyone said otherwise, they'd be mistaken.
I do not have any recollection that would be completely inconsistent with my Like,
What about any role in the timing of the filing or prosecution of any lawsuit? Do you ever talk to anybody that this may affect an election one way or the other?
I don't recall making any comment, and again, I did what I did at the direction of the public integrity section.
Well, and at your instigation, you could have also just followed the manual and waited a couple of weeks, could you not have?
Well,
It would have affected the prosecution. Would it have affected your ability to bring the prosecution if you just waited a few weeks till the election was over?
the Department of Justice does not time prosecutions to elections.
Well, yes, they do. That's what the manual says. And you, rather reluctantly, I felt, admitted you actually did read it when you became the interim U.S. attorney. The fact is, would it have changed the outcome of your prosecution had you waited a few weeks to bring it?
I don't know. I doubt there would have been any impact on the actual prosecution.